Hi, Gene Monterastelli here, the editor of tappingqanda.com. The video that you are about to watch is a conversation that was a part of this year's 24 Hours of Tapping. The 24 Hours of Tapping is a fundraiser for the amazing work that is done by the Peaceful Heart Network. The Peaceful Heart Network has brought tapping to migrants, refugees, prisoners, and the underprivileged in over 30 countries all over the world. As you watch this video, if you learned something, if you were touched by it, if you were inspired by it, the easiest way to say thank you is to support the work of the Peaceful Heart Network. To do that, all you need to do is go to 24hoursoftapping.com/support. And as you look in the description and the first comment down below, you will see a direct link to that. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Next up is my friend Brad Yates. Brad is known internationally for his creative and often humorous use of emotional freedom technique. He is the author of the best-selling children's book, The Wizard's Wish, and the co-author of the bestseller Freedom at Your Fingertips. And as a featured expert in the film, The Tapping Solution, Brad is also presented at numerous events, including Jack Canfield's Breakthrough to Success, teleseminars with the stars of The Secret, Bob Doyle and Joe Vitale, and on internet radio talk shows. Brad has more than 1,000 videos on YouTube that have been viewed more than 37 million times. It is my great pleasure to invite my friend to the digital stage, Brad Yates. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, I'm very impressed with how well you're doing. I was just saying to Elaine, I'm impressed by how articulate you are this far, and it was so funny to hear Jackie saying exactly the same thing. Wow, you're being really articulate.
Well, see, what happens is if you navigate the world where you set the bar so low for articulateness that when things start to fray at the edges, it is unnoticed that you are no longer coherent because it's so much closer to the baseline. It makes it easier. And this year, you don't have me as a giant crying mess sitting here in front of you that you have to put back together. And we can actually have a conversation about your topic.
Yet. You're not a crying mess yet.
This is
rolling
a man
up
who
my
knows
sleeves here, Gene. Let's see what we can do. Get those water.
And I don't know if you can see my sister down in the little chat box in the green room. She's just nodding like, yeah, he's going to knock him out. This is coming. So awesomeness. Well, as always, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your willingness to be the hammer at this event as we close it down. And so I'm fascinated, and I intentionally did not ask you any questions because I really wanted to have the opportunity, because I really love, one of the things I truly appreciate about our friendship, Brad, is our ability to unpack things in real time and just see where each other are coming from. That I think we have similar but disparate worldviews that allow us to have really good conversations. And I was really happy. So to let you all in behind the curtain, what we do is we ask all of the speakers to say, hey, what would you like to talk about? What would you like to cover? And Brad's notes are, ask me what the title means. That's it. And I love that. And I didn't want to touch this in any way. So need is a 4-letter word. What is up with that? Where are you coming? I have some ideas, but I'm really fascinated to hear what you're thinking about as you lean into it in that particular way.
Well, it's just stating the obvious. NEED.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Yates.
Don't forget to donate, Gunilla and Ulf are amazing. Support the Peaceful Heart Network. Thanks very much, everybody.
Tip your waitress.
Exactly.
So yeah, because I mean, just kind of dispositionally, one of the things that I have been playing around a lot with in my own life is the difference between preference, want, and need, and trying to get clarity about those things, and how I am in a circumstance where if I'm not being thoughtful, if I'm low resourced, or if I'm struggling, everything gets flattened into need. But I respond radically different to something that is a preference, that is a want, that is a need. And so as you wrestle with this idea of need, I would love to, hear your insight on that and what you're thinking as we navigate our way through this conversation.
Yeah. And it comes from just the colloquial thing of, a 4-letter word. It's like, that's a 4-letter word being a bad word. Yeah. And need is this, hate to say bad. I don't like to use good and bad, but it's problematic. And I know that there are a lot of personal development teachers who will say, you need to make it a need. You need to make it so important that it's a need. Here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
We talk about, as it is in personal development, we say, oh, don't say want, because want comes from a place of lack. Okay, but if want is a place of lack, need is that 10x.
Yeah.
It's not only just I don't have it, but there's a pain point there. So if I need it and I don't have it, I must suffer, because I not only just don't have something that I want in terms of law of attraction, not great mojo. in terms of just our mental and emotional well-being, that is just not great for us. So it limits our ability to think clearly. We're more likely to be in fight or flight. Our cortisol levels are up. We're just not thinking as clearly. We're not in our prefrontal cortex. We're just in this survival mechanism. And so it's really breaking it down in terms of, okay, we have all these things that we call needs. I need to do this. I need to do that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's an incomplete sentence. To say I need X is an incomplete sentence, because it's only a need if there's an in order to. I need this in order to have that. Just like running something like this. I need a good internet connection in order to present this event. But if you're not presenting an event, then it's not a need. Right. So without that in order to, there's no need. So, but we get stuck there. If we just say, I need this, and we don't look at the in order to, we might say, if we look for that in order to, it's like, oh, you know what? I don't actually need that. So this isn't really a need. Or I just get more clarity, and that loosens it up. And that doesn't, and then people are afraid that's going to take away your motivation. It doesn't have to take away your motivation. You can be absolutely motivated and just crushing it on things that you want to make happen without needing it and having that attachment.
And so one of the things that I've been thinking, I've probably said a dozen times over the last 24 hours, but I think it's something that's really, really true, is this idea that, we emotionally respond to the world as the way we describe it. And so if I need something, like I say it, so for me, the word that I have been catching myself on is should. So most of the time when I say I should do something, I'm saying it would be beneficial if I did this. I am desirous of this happening, but I don't like, I should go to the store. Well, I shouldn't go to, there's not a requirement to it, but it would be beneficial if I went to the store because I can now make a fresh salad for dinner. Yeah. And my emotional response to that is, and the word should and the word need, I think, is very, very similar, that they're just like such overloaded colloquial words that we say them so much that it can have this really wide range of meanings, except emotionally it just flattens into the one of them that is the strongest, that is at the edge of that. And so it doesn't matter intellectually what I'm saying about that. Emotionally, I'm going to, oh, it's this thing. It's kind of like when I was talking about preference, desire, and need. Like, it all just gets flattened to need if I am not careful in the way that I'm articulating stuff. And so, I
need to make it really, really important. I need to give it oomph. So instead of just saying, I want this, I should on people, or I should on myself.
Absolutely.
And it's like, because then it's going to really, no, this means I'm really serious, but it also, it gives that uncomfortable energy to it that is just not really healthy and productive. And it's not as productive as we think.
And it, like for me, and I'm curious if this was a similar turning point for you. For me, it was when I got a clinical hypnosis certification, and all of a sudden was like going, oh, this is the way subconscious mind hears words. This is the way we use those words to do things. And I can remember one day in class just raising my hand and going, Dave, since you've learned all this, has this transformed the way you talk to children? And he's like, yes. And I went, okay, so I see the same thing that you're seeing here. And so for me, that and then studying NLP submodalities, not NLP submodalities, the generalizations and those things. I can't think what they're called. Yeah, one of the NLP things with all the words, the generalizations and the objects and stuff like that. But just paying attention to how much emotional strife we create for ourselves with the imprecision of the language or the laziness of the language that we use, where we just fall into these habits of using really interesting words. And like, yeah, I can see need at the front of this particular parade as we're thinking about this and trying to respond to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do some tapping on that.
Let's do some tapping.
Because I know that's what people don't want me to just yap. They want me to tap.
Let's do it.
So everyone go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And go ahead and think about maybe something in your life that you're saying, I need to ... And as Gene said, it may be I should. You may be shooting on yourself, or you may be shooting on other people. They need to ... You see a lot of that. So allowing yourself to, just with your eyes closed and just following your breath through your body, just allow yourself to get in touch with where you might hold on to that in your body, that discomfort of, I can't feel, this needs to happen. Either I need to do this or someone else needs to do this. This needs to happen. And until that point, I am going to have to feel this discomfort because I can't release this discomfort until that happens because it's a need. Allow yourself to be aware of any place in your life where you might be holding your emotional well-being hostage until this quote unquote need is fulfilled. Do this with curiosity, not judgment. It's not at all a judgment on you for saying need or should or want. It's just allowing yourself to be aware of how you've been programmed to do that. And notice on a scale of 0 to 10, how strong that need feels. So when you say, I need this, I need to do this, this needs to happen. On a scale of 0 to 10, how strong is that need? Take a deep breath, open your eyes, and do some tapping here. Even though I need this.
Even though I need this.
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I need this.
Even though I need this.
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I need this.
Even though I need this.
It's not just a want.
It's not just a want.
It's not just some silly whim.
It's not just some silly whim.
This must happen.
This must happen.
And I must be uncomfortable until it happens.
And I must be uncomfortable until it happens.
And even though I'm sure I need this.
And even though I'm sure I need this.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else who might be involved.
And maybe anybody else who might be involved.
Because I choose to be that free.
Because I choose to be that free.
All this feeling of need.
All this feeling of need.
I really, really need this.
I really, really need this.
And I need to say that I need it.
And I need to say that I need it.
Otherwise, I might not feel motivated.
Otherwise, I might not feel motivated.
If it's only a want.
If it's only a want.
It doesn't feel that important.
It doesn't feel that important.
So I'm sure it's a need.
So I am sure it's a need.
I need to say that it's a need.
I need to say that it's a need.
And I'm open to the possibility.
And I'm open to the possibility.
That saying I need something.
That saying I need something.
Is an incomplete sentence.
Is an incomplete sentence.
Until I address the in order to.
Until I address the in order to.
What is the in order to?
What is the in order to?
I need this in order to what?
I need this in order to what?
What will be the consequence if I don't get this?
What will be the consequence if I don't get this?
What will be the consequence if this doesn't happen?
What will be the consequence if this doesn't happen?
Because I'm surviving right now.
Because I'm surviving right now.
Even though this thing I need hasn't happened.
Even though this thing I need hasn't happened.
So I don't need it for my survival.
So I don't need it for my survival.
So what do I need it for?
So what do I need it for?
And this isn't a matter.
And this isn't a matter
of talking myself out of wanting something.
Of talking myself out of wanting something.
If I find the in order to.
If I find the in order to.
And it's not about my actual survival.
And it's not about my actual survival.
Does that mean I should just give up on this?
Does that mean I should just give up on this?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I'm just releasing the need.
I'm just releasing the need.
To suffer until I have this.
To suffer until I have this.
Because when I say that something is a need.
Because when I say something is a need.
Something inside me says.
Something inside me says.
I can't feel really good until I have it.
I can't feel really good until I have it.
I have to compromise my well-being.
I have to compromise my well-being.
Physically and or emotionally.
Physically and or emotionally.
Until I acquire that thing that I say I need.
Until I acquire that thing I say I need.
And I'm allowing myself to process this.
And I'm allowing myself to process this.
Clearing this at a cellular level.
Clearing this at a cellular level.
And all the way back through my past.
And all the way back through my past.
Back through all the times in my life.
Back through all the times in my life.
That I was taught to say that I need something.
That I was taught to say that I need something.
I was taught that about all kinds of things.
I was taught that about all kinds of things.
That weren't real needs.
That weren't real needs.
They were preferences.
They were preferences.
And there were consequences.
And there were consequences.
Maybe my parents told me I need to clean my room.
Maybe my parents told me I need to clean my room.
In order to what?
In order to what?
Why did they need me to clean my room?
Why did they need me to clean my room?
And it's beneficial to have a clean room.
And it's beneficial to have a clean room.
There are all kinds of good things about cleaning up.
There are all sorts of good things about cleaning up.
It's arguably not really a need.
It's arguably not really a need.
And as I let that go.
And as I let that go.
I can just get in touch with the positive feelings.
I can just get in touch with the positive feelings.
I can allow myself to feel really good about my goals.
I can allow myself to be really good about my goals.
Instead of saying, I need this.
Instead of saying, I need this.
I can say, wouldn't it be awesome if I had this?
Wouldn't it be awesome if I had this?
Won't it be awesome when I have this?
Won't it be awesome when I have this?
And I choose to feel good in the meantime.
And I choose to feel good in the meantime.
Allowing myself to get clear.
Allowing myself to get clear.
About whether it's really a need.
Whether it's really a need.
And what the consequences might be.
Of what the consequences might be.
Because I say, I need this in order to something.
Because I say I need this in order to something.
But maybe that something isn't a need.
But maybe that something isn't a need.
I need to pay my rent.
I need to pay my rent.
In order to keep a roof over my head.
In order to keep a roof over my head.
People have lived without roofs over their head for ages.
People have lived without roofs over their heads for ages.
So it's a preference, not a need.
So it's a preference, not a need.
And this isn't taking away my motivation.
And this isn't taking away my motivation.
I don't need in order to be motivated.
I don't need in order to be motivated.
I can be motivated by excitement.
I can be motivated by excitement.
And then I have a much more positive vibration.
And then I have a much more positive vibration.
which is really nice for me.
Which is really nice for me.
And the people around me.
And the people around me.
So I'm setting myself free from this sense of need.
So I'm setting myself free from this sense of need.
In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Close your eyes and go back inside and think about that sense of need, whatever it was you were saying that you needed, and rate it again on a scale of 0 to 10, noticing where you might have felt discomfort, and just see what might have changed there. And here's a side note. If there's a part of you that says, well, I say that I need to have that Lamborghini. I need to have the Lamborghini. And if I tap away the sense of need, then maybe I'll find, I'm not that interested in a Lamborghini. Good. That's great. Then you're not putting all of your energy into something that really isn't in alignment with you. If you are really in alignment with having a Lamborghini, I have nothing against having Lamborghinis. They're beautiful cars. So if you're in alignment with that, then you can have it from this place of, it's going to be so awesome driving my Lamborghini, instead of, oh, I have to prove something. I need to show people that I'm this really successful person driving the supercar. And it's like, no, then it all comes from this really positive place of, wouldn't it be so awesome to have that?
Are you the one that told the story about getting the Corvette and then deciding not to have the Corvette?
The Porsche. Yep.
Porsche.
Yeah,
okay.
I had a long time love affair with Porsche 911s. I'd have pictures of them. Then I allowed myself to get brochures, and finally allowed myself to drive on the Porsche lot, and then go into the Porsche lot as a little step by step. Then finally, several years ago, about 6 years ago, on my birthday, I bought myself a 911, and I sold it back 3 weeks later.
There you go. Yeah.
Because I realized it didn't fit my lifestyle. It was a fascination, and I still love 911s. They're beautiful cars, but I needed a different car because our daughter was in high school, 17-year-old, 911s have back seats. A 17-year-old child does not fit in the back seat of a 911. You can't go to Costco and get a bunch of stuff and stick. So it's like, this is fun. Maybe at another point in my life. Yeah. But it's like, at this point in time, this is not the right car. So
and what you're saying there, like, it's so valuable to give ourselves permission to change our mind.
Yes.
Like there is like, like, for whatever reason, culturally, we have decided it is a moral failing that once you, like politicians, he's wishy-washy, he changes his mind. And sometimes they're doing that for political expedience. And sometimes they do that because they have new information. Like, absolutely. Like there's this sense of that if I'm changing my mind, I'm going back on my morals. And if I am having new information, or I'm in a new context or something like that, like, it's okay to change my mind. And it's okay for me to change my mind just because I want to change my mind. I don't have to like create a pro and con spreadsheet. And like, yes, like there were some very specific reasons why a Porsche 911 did not fit your lifestyle. And you are also allowed to go, I just don't want a Porsche 911 anymore, without having to justify, and it doesn't fit my lifestyle anymore. It's my preference. It's my desire has changed. And I want to normalize changing your mind in a healthy way. I want us to be in a circumstance, you're allowed to change your mind because you changed your mind. And if you want anything to be different in your life, pardon my use of a 4-letter word, you will need, in order to have different things, you need to think differently, because we create our lives. Our behavior comes from our thoughts. If you don't change, the old saying of, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always done. But you're always going to do what you've always done if you always think what you've always thought. Okay. So you cannot say, but we have this. Actually, we encourage folks to just be tapping, so that we're not. We may not be doing a formal tapping around, but just keep clearing as these ideas come up, because there's a part of us that goes, "Yeah, that's interesting, but I have a block because of my programming."
Changing your mind, as you said, like the whole politician wishy-washy, there is this stigma against changing your mind, that it's weak. It's weak to change your mind. And so even though we might say, yes, I have new information and I know something that would be absolutely better in so many ways, but if I change my mind, then I'm a loser. I'm weak. I'm spineless. I'm wishy-washy. I'm all of these different words. That's why I want people to be tapping. Tap as you hear these words that are associated with changing your mind. And you might even change the word and go, I'm up-leveling my thinking.
Yeah.
I'm up-leveling my operating system. And we have that resistance to, and that's really for me what the whole point of tapping is it facilitates change in our mind, because we get new ideas, but because we are somewhat addicted to the familiar and homeostasis, we have a stress response. When we have an opening for something to be better, here's a new job opportunity. Oh, there's somebody we could go out with, all these different things. And part of it goes, change, stress response.
Yeah, the subconscious mind will choose the predictably bad over the unpredictable, because the predictably bad is manageable. And so, at the subconscious level, we're hardwired not to have something change.
Yep.
That's why we love tapping. It's because tapping is the best way we know to move ideas from here to here, from the front of the brain to the middle of the brain. That's the way we get past that sentinel.
Yeah. It gives us the freedom to change our minds. It helps us feel safe. As we're looking at the change and part of us feels afraid, this helps us feel safe and go, oh, I could take that on. That would be okay.
And what you're doing right there is what I was just about to say. For me, the safest, healthiest, most informed way of doing that is approaching the idea of change through curiosity. So it's like, I wonder if I did this instead. I wonder if I had this preference instead. I wonder if I showed up at this time instead of that time. And so one of the things that is so fascinating about the subconscious mind is I can consciously say, I'm going to play a trick on my subconscious mind. I use this with my clients all the time. I know you don't know the answer to this question, but if you did. And what I'm doing is, but I can do that to myself. I can go, Gene, I know you don't know the answer to this, but if you did, my subconscious mind goes, bleh, and it falls for it every single time. And so when I am approaching something from a sense of curiosity, it's almost like I'm tiptoeing past the sleeping subconscious mind that is the night watchman that is dozing its way through it. And I'm able to get through and investigate to see if it's something I actually want to do. And then if it is, now I need to get my entire system on board. But when I'm trying to get my entire system on board, I actually have the experience of trying to drive to Costco in the Porsche 911 and going, I now have new information. And I now have an opportunity to make a new choice as I do that particular thing. But you naturally, as we were talking about this, just went to curiosity. And oh my gosh, is it so much easier for us we are no longer wrestling with our subconscious mind if we're working from a state of curiosity.
That's the brilliance of the quote from Walt Whitman that I have up on my wall over my desk.
Yep.
Be curious, not judgmental, because the judgmental part will shut it down. Yeah. So I use this with clients all the time. I'm reminding them, be curious, not judgmental. And the tapping helps us get past that judgmental part, because that judgmental part wants to come up because not because we're bad or stupid. We're just so programmed to do it. We have been taught by judging people all our lives, and we jump into that constantly. So this calms down that critic and says, let's get curious about this. Let's just have fun with this.
Yeah, well, we're programmed by two things. One is judging people in our life, and the other is 7,000 years of trying to survive as a nomadic species, where the subconscious, like that's the other piece of what it is. Yes. Is I quote you all the time. It's not survival of the fittest; it's survival of the scaredest. Yeah. Like that is my favorite Brad Yatesism. It's just this. the most afraid version of us was the one that was able to escape to procreate.
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't have to be faster than the bear. I just have to be faster than you.
The cowards that did not go out into the open and get eaten are the ones that.
That's right. That's right.
Right. And there's that negativity bias, and understanding it, and understanding that we don't live in that. Most of us are not in a place where we're going to get eaten. And the person who, puts that trolls you on the internet with a nasty comment is not life-threatening. And it's just like, I can survive this.
We actually had a little bit of that in the last 24 hours. And so the team were like, do we do anything? Like, shrug emoji. Like literally it was shrug emoji. Like we're okay. We're just gonna move on. That's fine. Send them love. It's fine. I'm too busy screwing up sound cues to worry about someone saying something nasty about my interviewing style. So,
and that's just it's somebody in pain who's there's two things that can be going on. One is it can be a constructive piece of criticism that is not delivered in the most useful way for a constructive piece of criticism to be provided. Right. Like there's two of those things, so awesome. Well, thanks, Brad. This is a really fun conversation. And I have a feeling at some point in the future, you and I are going to continue having a very similar conversation into microphones again as we continue to explore and figure this thing out. Well, I don't know if we're ever going to figure anything out, but boy, is it sure a lot of fun trying to figure it out with you as we do those sorts of things. Because we're curious people.
Yeah. Yeah. Or masochists, one of the two.
We're not that, but hey, I know you've been up for a very long time, and So
again, you're saying the person who's been up since 5 a.m. yesterday morning staring into a camera is not a masochist. That is a very generous reading on me and my life, Brad. I appreciate that greatly.
You are just someone who is so committed to the human race, and and your dedication to doing this stunt,
and that is the right word
for the benefit of everyone watching, in particular for the benefit of the Peaceful Heart Network and the amazing work that they're doing. And again, folks, please, if you can help, if you haven't already, go for it. They're just making such a difference in the world, and for everyone watching this, you are making a difference for the world because everything is energy. This is just science, quantum physics. We're all connected. And the tapping that you've done this week over these last 24 hours or however long you've been doing it, as you clear that stuff, that helps the collective whole. So just in that, you've made a difference. So thank you. And to all of your team, Gene, for putting this on.
And Brad, that's the reason why we didn't send out a fundraising letter and we did an event where we did a bunch of tapping, because we very easily could have gotten the 34 folks together who spoke and said, hey, could you send a note to your list to raise money for this amazing organization? And all of you would have said yes. But what it wouldn't have done is it wouldn't have given us the opportunity to have thousands of people come through over the course of the last 24 hours to be inspired and be touched by you and the other cavalcade of stars that have been sharing with us. Like it is a stunt to get people to show up, but it's by design because we want to give people the opportunity to have community and like the conversation that's been having between people in the chat box and the tapping and all of that sort of stuff. Like, yes, it is a stunt, but we're, hopefully those who have showed up have had an opportunity to learn a bit, clean a little bit, find a little community a little bit. And if we did all of those things, we have won.
Yeah. And it's such a fantastic group. The list of people, some of my absolute best friends, my absolute favorite people. It's a shame that we couldn't all be in a room and then hang out.
We're going to make this happen at some point. We talked about this. We're going to find a way to make this happen at some point in the future. Well, Brad, as always, thank you for your yes. I know that you will say yes to me, and I promise not to take too much advantage of you, because And you know the same is true going the other direction.
Absolutely. No, I love you. I love what you're up to, and very honored to be part of it.
Awesomeness. Thank you, sir. I'm going to... If you found this interview inspiring, I would encourage you to support the Peaceful Heart Network by going to 24hoursoftapping.com/support or clicking the link in the description. And you will see on the screen right now a playlist to all of the interviews from this year's and last year's 24 Hours of Tapping. I hope you enjoyed those as well.